Good morning, dear sisters, Tao Yin Alchemy sisters. I'm welcoming you in the very first class I'm making in this new year. And by the way, Happy New Year to everyone. And it's such a good feeling and feels like a blessing to start the year, the second day of 2020, with this class. I feel it's a very important journey personally for me to share this. It's part of my growth, and I'm really excited to allow you to learn all the amazing medicine of the Taoist practice. So we will begin by introduction. Today is a very subtle, smooth entering and meeting what is the Tao and what it has for us that can allow us to navigate through life. And life is easy, but life is not easy at the same time. So how can we do that? By using that ancient medicine, and how can we adapt it to modern lifestyle? So I will start sharing, yes, my presentation with you. All right, Tao Yin Alchemy, here we go. In this class today, we will learn what is the Tao, what does it mean, what is the definition, maybe a little bit of history, what is Yin and why do we actually emphasize on Yin, and where is Yang? As we know, Yin and Yang is the balance. And who are the primordial sisters? Some of information about them, what they have to offer to us. Why do we need to know this knowledge? What benefits, what advantages does it have for us? And then we will do practice at the end of the class. So this will be a structure of every week class with different flow, and I will show you the route of all the themes that I picked for us and let it evolve and unfold gradually and slowly. Practice will also be available at the end of every class, and eventually as we move forward, we're going to switch more towards the practice, and at some point the practice will take half of the class, maybe even the whole class. So eventually this is our target, because I'm interested in giving you something that you establish within your daily schedule routine. So Dao translates as the way from Chinese. And to actually explain what is Dao, there are so many versions. They are all very esoteric, very philosophical, and actually not easy to explain. Just give like a very clear and short definition. So Dao is something, it is the beginning of life, of this universe, and it is the end. It is the source where we all coming from, and it is the source where we'll all go back. And the Tao also, it's not somewhere only out there that is beyond our reach, but it's also part of our daily life. So basically it is everything, and at the same time it is nothing. So it has this very contradictive and very opposite sense of life, where you can find Tao in everything. Like there is Tao in your life, you are the Tao. So the way offers us that there is anything you want to do in life, it has the way. The way I'm speaking, the way you made up to this course, everything is the way, and it had a sequence of evolution. And then there is destruction. So all of this sequence is the way. And I have picked this beautiful chapter from the book called Tao Te Ching, which translates as the virtue of the way. It is written by Lao Tzu, who lived in 601 year of before Christ. This book is very, very special. It has so much wisdom, and it is something that is not just to be read, but actually something to meditate on. So here I picked this chapter that explains or introduces you into what is the Tao. So let us read it. Look, it cannot be seen, so it is called invisible. Listen, it cannot be heard, so it is called soundless. Touch, it cannot be caught, so it is called elusive. These three cannot be examined, so they unite into one. Above it there is no light, below it there is no darkness. Endlessness beyond description. It returns to non-existence. It is called the shapeless shape, the substance without form. It is called obscurely evasive. Meet it and you do not see its beginning. Follow it and you do not see its end. Hold on to the ancient way, the Tao, to master the present and to learn the primordial beginning. This is called the unbroken strand of the way. So this is like explanation of that, what is Tao. It's so beautiful, right? It's so poetic, but do you actually understand? No. And at the same time, you have this sense of understanding. So Tao is a process, is a process where you unravel the mystery of life and yourself. And one thing that I really love about this wisdom is that if you are having a very strong desire to conquer this knowledge in a fast way, like today there are so many courses in spirituality that tells you pay $200 and unravel the mystery just in like 15 hours or something, like get something very fast, learn 30 secrets of life in 1 week. So today this is the pace of the modern life. Tao says that there is nothing possible like that. Every time you learn something new, you understand that, oh my God, there is more to learn, how more I can open, how more can be revealed to me. And it's never ending. There is no bottom there. So if for me, when something is offering me a quick results, for me, it's a sign that it's not my way, it's not my Tao, and I'm stepping back. I know that everything needs like meeting, soaking in, trying, tasting, experiencing, digesting, processing, sleeping over with it. And only then, maybe after a few years, it starts giving the first fruits of it, and you will never even notice. That's why it's saying that Tao is untangible and it's elusive. It's something mystery. You cannot hear it, you cannot see it, but at the same time, it's everywhere around you. So very, very slowly, as you are joining every class, you will understand, but this is not a mental process. It's a felt sense of wisdom. Like, for example, you cannot see God or whoever you call it, universe, but you know there is a power there. You can sense its presence all the time in your life. But can you explain it to somebody? Maybe in a very trendy words, how we post in social medias, you can. But at the same time, the way you will speak and the way I will speak about it, it's so personal. So Tao is a personal exploration of yourself and the life. And in this course, I also offer that each one of you will establish your own practice. So this is a map where I want to show you that you are able to create your philosophy, your religion, and your practice. And if somebody tells you, oh, this is not how it's done, you need to do this in the morning and this in the evening, like, you know, kind of a military approach, then that's it. It's not your thing. Now, answering the question, what does the Tao have to do with the feminine? All right. So Lao Tzu, or the author of the Tao Te Ching, tells us that actually Tao, it is the primordial mother energy, or the birthing spirit of the universe. So in chapter 6 it says, the valley spirit never dies. It is called the mystical female. The entrance to the mystical female is called the root of heaven and earth, from which all is born. Use it effortlessly. And this one is shorter and we have more time. I can tell you the interpretation. What does it mean? So this is just, if you have been to my Kabbalah classes, the same way all the scripts, they mean something. And it's not something you just read and it's like, ah, oh, it's so beautiful. You are actually putting it to practice. So every line means something. The valley spirit never dies. So the valley, when we think of valley, it's a something at the bottom, surrounded by mountains. It's like the bottom of that bowl in nature where we can look down, and it's very vast and spreading, and it holds the ground, right? So it is the bottom of the ground. The valley and this shape is symbolizing the cosmic womb. So it's the cosmic uterus where we are living in, and that place is the Tao, if you might see it as a circle. So it says that this spirit never dies, and it's also it means was a birth somewhere, but she is always present there, and she is called the mystical female. She is the first embodiment of creator, so it is the first creation. And she is mystical because it's so intangible, just like I mentioned before, that Tao cannot be grasped, cannot be caught. The same way, for example, we are living in the patriarchal society, and many of us were nurtured in the tradition of patriarchal religion, where we see the deity as a, well, it's very trendy to see the old guy, the old man with white beard and like sitting all in white robe. And this is how we see the image of God. So this is very familiar to our even imagination. Even if you ask a child to draw God, this is how maybe he or she will draw. So there is something else that is missing big time, and that is the mystery. Why is the mystery? Because we need to find it. And many women today, they feel that there is this whole offered image of deity or divine is not complete. How can there be the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit? Like, how can universe exist without a female energy? How can a family exist without wife or mother? That's the same. The entrance to the mystical female. So if you take simply your body, you are female. What is the entrance into the essence of your feminine power? It is your womb, your vagina again. So the entrance to the mystical female offers us the definition of the cosmic womb. And it is called the root of heaven and earth, from which all is born. So we are all coming from that cosmic womb, men and women and universe and animals and plants, everything. And here it tells us what we need to do with it. Use it effortlessly. So we are all using it. But the word effortlessly means that you should not put any extra effort. It's like a breath that you are doing right now as you're listening. Do you actually think of your breath? Do you need to put efforts to breathe, unless there is a pathology like asthma or something? Otherwise, if you're healthy woman being, you are breathing effortlessly. And this is how you are going to use that mystical female or the Tao in your life. Whenever there you are putting effort, actually puts you into the state of suffering. So Tao reveals us where there is suffering and how we can bypass it or turn it into empowerment tool. Now, the Tao is also easy for us to trace and understand when we observe the nature. So if we look into the nature, as we sit in our houses and dressed in our clothes and we have our technologies and everything, we don't pay much attention unless we see something very beautiful. So we are so 100% dependent on the nature, on the change of season. We constantly need to protect our bodies to keep our body warm, or when it's hot, we need to cool down. So we are in the friction. There is a human and there is nature. In between, there is constant friction when we have to adapt ourselves to the nature. So if you actually think animals, plants, which are part of the nature, these three aspects, they coexist in perfect synchronicity and flow. They are one and they are just flowing effortlessly together. So animals, they can live like there are squirrels running around my house all the time. They have this fur. They don't need to earn money. They don't need to go and struggle to find. Every day they're doing small actions where they find food and everything is available. So no matter what kind of season, whether it's raining or sunny, the animals and plants naturally adapt. And this is different from us humans. We are actually the opposition of that natural cycle. We constantly need to conquer the nature or to suffer from nature, like there are so many fires in Australia. So there is somehow contradiction between us and nature. But the Tao tells us that if we observe and understand the language of the nature and see what is the synchronicity, to see the synchronicity between the nature. How does the nature function? So it means that there is an effortless cycle that takes from one state to the other, and you will never see the lines, the border lines between. And this is called Wu Wei. In Taoist practice, there is Wu Wei, which is called the art of non-doing. And this is something we will be learning throughout all of these classes. So imagine that you, throughout the day, you do hundreds of tasks. And at the end of the day, you get so tired. You're like, oh my God, these children, this family, this cooking, this career, and everything, whatever you have. At the end of the day, you feel you are drained. And now you have only time to go to sleep. And then you wake up and you start again. And this, with the time, drains us and we age before our time. So we get wrinkled, we get white hair, all of these signs and just nervous system drainage before the natural timing. So Wu Wei is telling you that you can do life by non-doing the life. And it's like such a philosophical, what is that, right? What is this idea? So very slowly, I swear I'm still learning, and I think I will never stop learning this, but I am already taking the fruits. I'm already having the benefits of this Wu Wei, non-doing. Imagine yourself as a woman. You do minimum of what you're doing. So you are decreasing all the list of your tasks. Instead, you are creating the quality of yourself, your sense, where things come into you without you going and asking for them. So you are just living your life as a complete sensing woman. You have your own practice and you are becoming more calm. You start owning your time. You start owning your breath, your body, your cycles. And suddenly, in a week, somebody comes to you and offers this. Somehow you start receiving necessary contacts, or some actions are happening, events that you exactly needed, and you've been waiting for it for 20 years, struggling to get it, and then suddenly you're not doing anything and you just getting it. So it says that actually the way we live, our problem, especially women's, is that we interfere all the time in what we should not interfere. Let's scroll back and imagine that we are 18 years old, right? And there is a plan, a big plan, the divine plan for us, that one day you're going to meet that man or that partner, and this partner will reveal so much gift of life to you. You just need to continue believing and trusting and living your life. But there is another small me, there is a small plan that I'm trying to implement, and like, no, and I need to do this because everybody's doing that around, because society is telling me, because my parents are telling me. So I'm putting efforts and I'm starting pushing and squeezing life, creating that violence. And then the big plan, the divine plan says, okay, you don't want that, you have the choice. So you are going into something that is not even meant for you because you rushed and you started acting. So Wu Wei is telling you that you need to step back. But this is very scary for women because it means that you need to surrender, lose control. And women are masters of controlling. We want to control our children. We want to control people around us. We want to control what people think of us. We don't want them to judge us. We want to control everything. And that's how we interfere in the Tao, in the natural cycle of life, and we steal from ourselves. So there was something waiting for us, and we just said no, but it was not conscious. So in this practice, we are learning how to trust and surrender. Now, this is another book. I'm always referring to some different resources. It's called the Tao of Pooh. You know, the Winnie the Pooh, this kids book. And then there is Benjamin Hoff, who have actually created this amazing, this actually a book you can read to your children, the Tao of Pooh. It's in a very very friendly way that explains the philosophy of Tao. So let's read. When we learn to work with our inner nature and with the natural laws operating around us, we reach the level of Wu Wei. Then we work with the natural order of things and operate on the principle of minimal effort. Since the natural world follows that principle, it does not make mistake. Mistakes are made or imagined by man, the creature with the overloaded brain who separates himself from supporting network of natural laws by interfering and trying too hard. So you are trying so hard to be healthy. You're trying so hard to be successful. You're trying so hard to be good mother. You're trying so hard to operate your family. Stop doing that. You don't need to do anything. So when you're trying to do something hard out there, which is external, you are abandoning yourself. What you need to do is actually, in these lines, is telling that you need to understand what is the cycle of nature outside, what is your internal law, natural law, and the cycle, and how these two, inner and outer, can synchronize and align together. Then you are moving with the flow, with the tide of the water, like you are swimming with the tide of the river. Otherwise, every time when you're trying hard, you are swimming against the flow. Now, I love this, that mistakes that you think that are mistakes are actually designed by you, or you just imagine them. So if you scroll back to this week, okay, it was very hectic week. It's like Christmas and New Year, and if you have children, it's you have to satisfy everything and everyone. So you've been trying hard. So look back and see, you will definitely judge yourself as somebody, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, and you will see how many mistakes you've done. You know, if you will start digging, you will never end up with finding mistakes. You will find 100, then 200. You are never going to be perfect. And that is the thing, that all of these are imagined. It's only through your perspective of judgment that you think you are making mistakes. So making mistakes, first of all, is part of growth, but you are not growing when you are judging them as mistakes. So one thing that we can cut out now from understanding is that until this moment, everything you've done in your life, from the moment you were born, there were 0 mistakes. Everything you've done where you are right now is a choice. You made a choice to be with that human being, to be in that country, to be in this body, whether you are too skinny or obese, it doesn't matter. That was a choice, but that was not a mistake. Now, moving forward, you can change your choice, and that will never be a mistake again. Okay? Now, let's check what are the external rhythms and internal rhythms, and how we can align them. So external rhythms, celestial influence, celestial or heaven or sky. So what do we have there? We have moon, sun, constellations, stars. They are affecting our life, whether you feel it or not, whether you believe it or not, they do. So if something happens to moon or something happens to sun, we feel that on earth. So if you will start tracing, there are different magnetic fields on the sun. So for example, from time to time, I'm reading that there are flashes on the surface of the sun, and that resonates to the earth. People feel it through like hard headache. They feel it through very sensitive times of struggling, high or low blood pressure, very big amount of conflicts. some suffering, depression, suicides. Oh my God, so many things are ruled by these external rhythms. And as you are sitting right now, listening to me, you are actually sitting on the globe that is floating in the space, surrounded by the planets. Can you imagine you are right now floating in the space, surrounded by stars? This is real, but we never believe it's real. What you believe is things that you see. So I see this curtain, I have this table. This for me is real because I can touch it, I can smell it and taste it right now. But there is something there that is beyond my five senses. And for me, this is not real. So we never take these things seriously. And throughout this education, we will start tuning and listening to that. Then there are terrestrial influence. Terrestrial means terra from Greek, which is earth. So something is happening on earth. So, for example, the Amazon forests were on fire. Do we think that it impacted you and me? Of course it did. We just don't feel it. It will impact, like it's called the butterfly effect, very slowly the whole globe. Now all the Australia is on fire. The climate change is happening. All these things are adding a very invisible and subtle changes into our life, which we will feel with time, because these things are massive. So they need more time to go through. Now there is another external rhythm. It's time and space. So there is morning, there is day, evening, and night. Today, with all the technologies, we have tendency to sleep late, to wake up where we want to wake up, or when we have to eat when we have to, and what we like, maybe not what's healthy. So there is a belief that Tao moves so perfectly because there is time for everything. There is time to plant, there is time to process, there is time to let go, there is time to listen, there is time to feel, and there is time to die. So when you understand when there is timing, there are doors opening, of doors of opportunities every day are opening for you. But because we are like rat race, we are running, rushing, we don't even notice these doors. So as you are becoming woman who is sensing the external rhythms, you will start opening your eyes and seeing and feeling that and attracting it more into your life. And this is where you start living your life and having things effortlessly because they are all around you all the time. Now, space means where you are. When you understand the spirit or the quality energy of those spaces and you align yourself with that, you feel so nourished. You are not draining. And if you will combine time and space together, there is a time and place for this action, and there is a time for place for this action. So there is a saying that a wise woman predicts her future because she creates it. And this is how you predict your future. It's not just a supernatural gift. You are actually in tune with the external rhythms. Now, internal rhythms, your life cycle. Life cycles, as we are born, then we are newborn, we are toddlers, then we're going to teenage, sexual growth, then we're going to like being a woman in very active phase of life, let's say from 20 to 30 years old. And then we are going towards the autumn of our life, and when we go into the winter of our life. So the life cycle is very real. You know that the way you operate today, is different from how you were operating 5 years ago. So life cycle for men in Chinese medicine and for women has certain period of time. So woman, it is believed that she is changing every 7 years. So every 7 years, your body completely changes. Your hair, your nails, your skin, your breath, your organs, they are renewing every 7 years. So as we are born, we go from zero towards the peak, and then we are going down. It means that actually you and me right now, we are, sorry to say, but we are in the process of dying. Yes. Since the moment when we are born, towards now, we are just going slowly towards that one day when we will say goodbye, everybody. I hope it will be that nice experience. So, but the thing is that the Tao says that even despite we're going towards death, we are still evolving. And there is this amazing art of dying. So now we are dying, but we can do it consciously with the full fulfillment and enjoyment. And this is what we're going to study, how to live with the 7-year cycle and renew. Instead of every 7 years we're depleting and fading, we are going to renew. Okay, and then the body will support us. The next one is hormonal rhythm, and this is connected to menstruation or menopause, depending on where you are. So we know that we are menstruating women and we going through this process on a monthly basis, but most of the time we ignore that. So we just would put the pad in panties and go and work or do cook or clean or whatever, but we are not present. We are mainly present here. So what we hear, what we see, what we speak, and what we think, this is real, this is life. But there, what is happening between your legs, inside of your womb, we are like, okay, I'm menstruating today, I feel weak. We don't go more beyond those thoughts unless you already started connecting with your internal cycle and you feel that this actually is your biological clock that ticking throughout the month. And if you will ignore it, you are stealing again your health. So women who are in menopause, when they reach menopause, they're like, now I don't need to menstruate anymore. All this drama with pads and blood is gone. Now I can relax. And even they're cutting even more from the womb, which is actually the truth that even menopausal woman has her own cycle. She still has the exchange of hormones. She still have estrogen. All of these hormones are still working, but because she doesn't feel the bleeding process anymore, the cramps and the discomfort, she completely moves away from that. So actually a woman in menopause needs to learn even deeper what is her rhythm, and then she will, believe me, the age of menopause is called second spring of woman's life. It is the golden age where you are supposed to be like on the climax, the most beautiful phase of your life. But the way we treat our bodies throughout life, throughout menstruation, when we arrive to menopause, we are completely drained. And I know many women who really go through hot flashes, like ups and downs in mood, such a very intense experience, and they don't even believe that menopause can be something very nice flow, you know. So this is something really important to understand. Now we have circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is your internal clock which is connected to the sunrise and sunset. So sleeping or production of melatonin is how you recover. When does your stomach go into the best hours of digestion? When you need to eat, when you need to slow down, when you need to exercise throughout the day. So every organ has its own hour when it operates, and then when you follow these hours, you feel like, wow, you have more energy. And guess what? You don't need to be on a certain diet or fast or whatever. You just follow this natural and it becomes so light. You're like, wow, I have more energy. The circadian rhythm is completely broken by our lifestyle. So what happens? We wake up, most of the people, they grab coffee. They don't eat something very like nourishing, good, healthy breakfast. They just grab a coffee, they go to office. Then during lunchtime at 1, because the office hours dictate when you need to eat, you run and eat something also junk. I don't want to speak for everybody because maybe you're not even working, but I'm now referring to the general society of the whole humanity, okay? Or if you're a woman who is busy with children, you also like you have a tendency of snacking here, snacking there. First you're gonna feed all your family and take care of your family, and then you even forget to feed yourself sometimes. So the circadian rhythm is broken, and we operate against the natural hours of our body. So we will study here the hour operation of the organs, when and what you can reduce, or you can add more, and you will feel really, really good. And the thing is, so external rhythms and your internal rhythms are natural. This is organic. Okay, this is the most organic thing that you can do. And there is unnatural or superficial that was created by the human society. Now, what is that? Family, society, expectations. So family expects you to, like, these traditional questions that a young woman has. So when you finish school, then you finish university, people will ask you, so are you getting to marry? Are you dating anyone? Is anything happening? And then suddenly you're dating somebody, and now they will ask you, so when are you getting married? Okay, fast forward, you married. Now they're asking, so when are you planning a child? It's like, all the time you need to run and satisfy those society expectations that you must do this or you must do that because it's time. Who said it's time for you? Like, each one of us, we have our individual personal time. Maybe you are a woman who will never marry. And guess what? If you are that woman, you have a risk to be judged in society. Or if you're a woman who decides, I don't want children, I'm fine. I'm fine with having a dog. Yeah, it's your choice. You have the rights. But again, the society or your family, your parents will say, well, this is wrong. We want a grandchild and blah, blah, blah. So it's not only about husband and children, whatever aspect of life you pick, there will always be these voices from external life who will tell you, why don't you do this? You have to do this, and blah, 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 blah. And you are just like going crazy. And this drags you away from your natural rhythm and your own choices. And because you remember in the beginning, I told you about mistakes and choices. Most of the time, the choices that you made in the past that you are now not happy with was because you chose to follow someone else. So you followed someone else's decision or opinion. You didn't meet your own opinion, and now there is this discomfort. You are not happy with something, but you cannot explain what. And now you think, I made a mistake. So actually the mistake, when we untangle it, it's every time when you were listening to somebody else and you had not enough guts to follow yourself, because sometimes follow yourself can be scary, but it's also illusion, and we will learn how to listen to yourself. So this is a scary place because we are not raised this way. Now the next one, tasks, roles, and targets are something that are very important part of our life, but they have a tendency to drag us away from the natural rhythms. Why? Because the thing is, we over exaggerate the amount of tasks, roles, and targets we must do. This, I have to be this, I have to do that, I have to be there, I have to accommodate this person, I have to meet these expectations. So the tasks and roles and targets, we will do an exercise in the following classes where we will start unraveling and breaking down where are the tasks that really nourish yourself and where are the tasks that are secondary. So the thing is, why do we women perform and function this way? Is because we have so much fear. We think that if you right now find that trust and let go, allow your family to go chaotic today. You know, just like pack and go somewhere, go trekking, go to the sea, and just spend the whole day in silence. Maybe you're gonna nap. You just need that full 24 hours of total solitude and recharge. And then you will switch off your phone and you will think, I guess what's happening at home? What's happening in office? Everybody must be looking for me, and things are going chaos. Yeah, so what? Let it be. Let it be. And this is where you don't interfere, because every time you interfere of how people need to act around you, this is against the Tao. So the Tao is telling you, go with the natural rhythm. Allow your family to reveal who they really are without you. How do they really function without you? How does your house function and lives without you? What if you will just let go of your hands and watch what's gonna happen? It's even like funny experience and experiment to have. Now, this is leading naturally to the next point, which is recognition validation. So one of the things, apart from fear, why you don't want to let go and finally trust, is because you want to be recognized constantly. From the moment when we are born, our parents are feeding this, I would say, destructive programming into our brain. Oh, you ate all your fruits, well done. Oh, you are dancing, good girl. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And always like praising something, what they liked in you, and putting yourself down in something they didn't like in you. So it's like good girl or not well done. Good girl, not well done. So all of this, all the time. So you are living as a child, and if you're a mother, you can also see how you are doing that to your children. When your child is coming to you with like, look, mom, I did this, I done this, and you're like, oh my God. And you, from your heart and love and care, you want to praise and like empower. But then another day, your child does something really bad, which you think is very bad, but because you didn't like it, you're like, how can you do this? This is not okay. I don't like it. You need to rectify this. And so there is a lot of judgment. So this takes years from when we start talking and walking until, well, to be true, some adults are still living in such dimension and dynamics with their parents. But let's say until 20 years, you are hearing this good girl and not good girl. So then what you want, because good girl is like a honey, it's like a balsam, it's like the best thing you want to hear all your time, all your life. And you don't want to hear that voice that is judging you. You are not enough, you are not well done, okay? You want to hear only the positive. You start longing for that from your partner, for example, from your husband. You are like from your man, you want to hear only the good things. And when he comes to you and says that he didn't like something, it's like you feel hurt and you feel misunderstood. So now you're going to act throughout the day, unconsciously wanting to be praised at work, at home, even for yourself. So there is internal relationship, me and me, because that voice is now becoming my internal voice. Now, the next thing that we're going to cover is why I was naming this course as Tao Yin Alchemy. Because if we think of yin, there should be yang as well, right? And if you go to a training or a workshop or Google, everywhere it says that you are the balance of it. You have both in like 50-50%, which is not actually total truth. This is a little bit different. So Tao Yin, the yin is that black part, and it has a little part, a portion of yang, the white dot. And the opposite of it, the white field, is the yang, the masculine. And it has a little portion of black spot, which is the feminine. So the feminine, the big part of feminine, has a little bit of masculine, and the big masculine has a little bit of feminine. When they come together, they becoming the balance. But you, when you are born in the physical body of female, you are not this both. You are actually only this black part. You made a choice to become a woman in this body. When you made the choice, you took this part. This is your route in life. This is your direction. It means that your primary is feminine and you have a little bit of masculine. If you look at man, the man who is born in the masculine body with masculine genitals is primary masculine, and he has a secondary feminine, okay? Otherwise, we are so different. We are not the same. Women are not the same with men. We are very different. And actually, when we understand that we are different and how we are different, how do we women operate, how men operate, and how we can come together in a very balanced, not just balanced, but very correct, harmonious way, then there will be less drama in relationship. So yin is a total passiveness and receiving. Like the Tao, remember? The Tao does not interfere. The Tao is a natural flow of things occurring one by one, gradually, and it's time. It's passive. So if I would suggest you here to become a woman who is actually not active, but passive, and she's just receiving. How is that possible? Well, be patient. We will learn everything about it. It's so beautiful. And it really works. I'm telling you, it works. So Yan is total action and giving. Okay, can you see the difference? So if we break it down to man and woman, woman is completely passive. So she's just like a queen sitting there and receiving things. And the man is like doing things and whatever and giving to her. Would you love that such life? Would you like to have such life? Of course you would, right? But does it mean that you actually have to do nothing? Like you wake up, you do your nails, you drink a tea, and then you go to nap and you meditate and you just don't care. No, it's not. It's not that. We will learn what is action, what it means to be active, and what means to be passive in a correct way, and what means to receive and what means to give. Now, today, I swear every single woman I meet, and we have like a very nice conversation, she tells me, I don't know how to receive. I'm always giving. I'm giving myself all the time to everybody, to community, to my house, to my plants, to my children, to my animals, to my man, to my work, all the time, to my friends. And I don't receive anything. I'm tired of it. And guess what? Then she says that receiving is something that she is ashamed of, and she is feeling she doesn't deserve it. So, for example, I was on a birthday recently, and a girl received few, like from one person, like few gifts, like 1, 2, 3, or 4, and she's unwrapping and she's saying, oh my god, oh my god, you shouldn't, like, even such small details we're constantly denying. We're constantly saying, no, I don't deserve it, I'm not worthy, why did you make this amazing thing for me, only for me? Oh my god. So it's crazy, because if we act this way, there is something more higher than just given a gift, a material object. Life is giving you all the time. If you start denying small things in your relationships, the universe will read that and take that. The universe will say, okay, so she doesn't need, she doesn't want, she constantly refuses. This is her wish. Let us fulfill her wish. We will stop giving her because it seems she doesn't need anything. Let her feel the lack. Let her feel the void and be alone. And only then, when she will suffer and understand and wake up, she will actually start thinking that she needs help. She needs to receive. She needs to ask. She is not alone. And that there is a need of something in her life, we can start giving it to her. So many times women are rejecting. And guess what? Women feel rejected all the time. This is because they are rejecting. So if I'm a woman who is rejecting things in my life, it means I am experiencing rejection in myself. This is what I will resonate and attract. So if I'm the rejector, people will reflect that on me and they will start rejecting me. And then I will be offended at them, but it's about me. So the Tao is telling that if you think of the earth, we receive everything from earth, right? So it seems like earth is given us, but actually earth is not given anything. How does it work? Is that earth is receiving, and we are taking the fruits of that receiving. I will give you an example of where you will understand it more, of this cup. So look at this cup. Imagine that this cup, when it's empty, it is the universe. It is the earth, okay? And then the earth starts receiving sunlight, rain, rotation, the cosmic influence, receiving all these influences that will make the earth grow. So just by effortless action, the trees are growing because the ground, the soil received the fertilization, the water, the sunlight. So when we think that earth is given us, we are actually experiencing receiving together with the earth. And then when everything fills up to the brim, it starts spilling over. And that which is here spilled over, the fruits that was over abundantly available, we are now experiencing. Now let's go deeper. You are this cup. You are this cup. Modern woman naturally is empty today. They are not filling themselves up, they're not receiving, but they already start giving. So imagine if I will start putting this fluid out, eventually the glass will become empty. And this is exactly a point in your life when you feel, I feel so drained. I'm so tired of giving. I cannot live this life anymore. I'm so done. That's it, because you were giving before you filled yourself up to the brim. Now you are not giving anything to anyone until you become full, like this cup on the right, spilling over, and that which is falling, you are giving to others. You're not even giving, they are receiving. So to give you an example, what kind of woman is that? A woman who is 100% committed to herself, who listens to her internal rhythms, and she addresses and responds to the internal requests in perfect timing. She becomes so calm and grounded and content that she starts infecting and affecting everybody around. So you come to a house where maybe things are not perfectly clean and beautiful. It's just normal house, but you feel, wow, the energy here is so powerful. This place feels like, yeah, I just want to relax here. It feels so good, so calm, so like nourished, and kind. This is the reflection of woman's energy. What you feel in that house is the energy of that woman, because woman is the access point in every house. She is the fire of the house that keeps the house warm. Now this family of such woman will be the same. They will feel calm. They will feel content. I'm not saying that there will not be issues. Of course, drama, conflicts, issues will be there, but they will be addressed in a different way, okay? In a very, I would say, conscious way. And somehow things will just naturally on themselves solve. So you feel like your children are pretty responsible people, even if they're 5 or 10 or I don't know 15, they can manage themselves without you. And your husband, he's not always jumping and waiting for your attention and recognition and like trespassing your territory. He's giving your space and he's loving you at the same time. He is loyal to you. He's loyal to the family, to himself. So you are because it's contagious. It's contagious, and you're going to infect that. So the purpose of yourself to be this cup, because this is the vessel, and you are the vessel to receive life. Um, you need to understand that you are passing information and teaching others, whether that community, children, or other women. Maybe you are also leader of some, I don't know, yoga, anything. You are not teaching anyone by words. You are teaching by your own example, because unconsciously they will imprint your behavior, okay, and your attitude towards life. So this is very, very important. And when you live this way, what happens is that, I swear, like, this is my 100% honesty to you. Since I live this way, I started doing less things. I'm less worried about results, about money and this. Of course, I need to pay bills, but there are some things that I'm really letting go. And guess what? Somehow, from somewhere, I don't know how, things just align. I suddenly have that place. Like, I never thought I'm gonna live in Canada. I swear I never even desired. But the way my life took such journey, that it's like a step, step, step. I'm not doing anything for that. This is so funny. And this really works. I really love it. And there is no other way I want to live. I will never go back to the way I was, because I was in corporate world for 16 years. I started working when I was 16 because my parents died when I was 16. So I went and I started working in corporate world, and I worked in big companies. Like, I worked in Microsoft, I worked in IT companies, and I really earned money. And I was the performer. I was the action mode all the time. It took me so many years to just accept that I can let go of this. I don't need to do that anymore. It was it was that back then it felt like it's hard, but now I'm looking back, I'm like, this was such an illusion. It's only because I thought it's hard. It's so easy. It's so easy. And now I have so much energy, but this energy is not to give away. This energy is to preserve. Now, what I want you to notice at this point: where are you forcing events in your life? Where are you trying hard about something in order to get something or to get somewhere? Can you write it down for yourself and understand how you can actually um, change relationship with this thing? Because forcing is violence. Okay, you are being violent to this thing, but this thing is part of your life, so you are being violent to yourself. And violence is a self-violence. I wanted to put one word here, but it's to read it, it has very strong negative impact, but I will just say it without writing it down. Rape. So we know that one of the tragedy of our humanity is that so women are being raped. So I want to tell you that when I worked with women individually in therapy sessions, it always, for every single woman, came out through that unconscious journey of taking things out from, like, body archive memory, that before that event of rape happened, she lived the way that she attracted that into her life. So in other words, before rape, before real rape, she was raping herself for so many years. And this is what we do so many times. Whenever you are forcing yourself into something you don't want to do, you are raping yourself. By now, just notice where in your life now it is beginning of the year, and maybe you have such a great plan for this year. Now, okay, I haven't done this in 2019, I'm definitely going to do in 2020. Or can you revise your plans? Can you see if you are forcing that? Do you actually need that? What is the price you are going to pay for that? Now, introducing you the Immortal Sisters. Just a very short one because we are going to touch on them in almost every class. Who are Immortal Sisters? So, Immortal Sisters are enlightened women. It's like, who is that? Does it even exist? Who received transcendental knowledge of Tao alchemy and conquered the laws of physical realm. Now, these women existed many centuries ago, before Christ. Today's modern China, and for many centuries, it's a very strong patriarchal society. Women are minor there. They're like walking and bowing. You know this culture, how it looks. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that from the beginning. Actually, all over the world, where it wasn't like that. There was a time when women were priestess, there were spiritual teachers. And the funny thing that here I mentioned below some of the names of the Immortal Sisters. So if you look, there is a Di Van Mu. She was a Yellow Emperor advisor. So Yellow Emperor is an emperor in China who existed before century, and he was the one who really started the rise of Taoist practice, of Taoist mystery. He had advisors in his royal court. Two of them were women. They were teaching emperor about the art of sexual alchemy and also the art of nature. And they were the most close to them. So the king was listening to women. And this is not the only example, because many times it happened this way, that these women, like a witch, you know, or like a sorcerer, some very, very shamanic woman, she would be an advisor, a personal assistant to a king. Zivan Mu was also known as the Golden Mother of Tortoise Mountain. Then we have Chazu, the Lady of Tea. Sun Buer, who was also wife, mother, she became a hermit teacher. She also became immortal, and eventually she is worshipped as a goddess. Zhu Sunjin transformed after she gave birth to a very special son. It's like a Mary birthed Jesus. So a son who became a Taoist master. So these women, some of them, they were married and they had really amazing relationship with their husbands who also practiced Tao, and they were evolving and developing together as a couple. Also, there is very famous stories where women were suppressed because they knew this mystery and knowledge. It's like, you know, in Europe, they used to burn women and accuse them in witchcraft. So this is the same thing. All over the world, for some reason, when woman has a special gift and she shares it with people, they don't understand her and they want to cage her. So that's why I've put here that their practice was always a secret. There were stories and they are very beautiful. So one military minister of the emperor's army in ancient China, he was practicing Taoist alchemy. So for many years in his workshop, he was experimenting with mercury. He was trying to transform mercury into gold. And he didn't know that his wife in his house secretly was by herself practicing the Tao as well. And she reached to that level that one day she entered his workshop, she dropped something in that mercury, the ball of mercury, and immediately it turned into gold. And the legend says that he turned to her and he said, so you knew the Tao all this time and you didn't tell me why? And she said, the Tao, it needs to be a destiny. You cannot transmit it from person to person. I cannot teach you. You need to perceive it yourself through your practice. So he started begging her to tell, because it's gold. So what man wants? To have gold and to have power. This is the difference between men's practice and women's practice. Women just want peace and magic and fairies, you know, all these beautiful things. Men, most of the time, they practice in order to have power, to be recognized by society. So he started chasing her, and at some point, he started threatening her physically. Then she said that you are not ready. This was a test, and you are not ready for this knowledge. And she disappeared. So there was another legend where woman also revealed some magic trick, and she was put into prison. And when they came for her into her cage, they found only her shoes left. She flew away. And this is actually where the Cinderella tale comes from. So leaving shoes was very a common thing for these Taoist immortal sisters, because they just flew away. They actually learned the art of levitation. This is how it's written. So immortal sisters are those spirits who still have the knowledge for us, and they left different poetry. Poetry, which is not just a poetry, it's a coded information of what you need to do and how to practice and how to live to transform. Now, this is our destination, and this is the route how we're going to learn. The main destination in this course with me is energy. You need to return your energy that belongs to you, that you gave away. Okay, and this is why you feel tired and no inspiration in life and etc. So what do we do with energy? First, we gather. Women naturally gather energy like earth. We receive. Gathering means receiving. When we receive, we preserve energy. But the thing is, today, modern woman, there is a third thing we do here between. We gather. Before preserving, we lose. We leak as if we have a hole. So the energy is leaking and there is nothing to preserve. But if you would preserve your energy, the next step is multiply. Okay? You can consider yourself a bank. So bank receives credits from people, okay? And then there is account. You are preserving the money inside, and the money rotates inside of you. Money is your energy. And at some point, because you save those money, they start attracting more and multiplying, multiplying. And this is how banks are growing. Everything on planet works this way. Bank, organization, company, family, anything. You just need to start applying that within your body. Now, next thing that we are going to learn, what is stillness and movement, where you need to be still and hold your ground, patience, trust, and when do you need to move forward. Then there is contraction, going inwards, where you gather things together and you kind of put guards and walls around you where you save your energy. And then suddenly you expand, you open your gates and you open yourself to others. And then you don't feel drained as well. Big practice on silence and sound. So when do you want, feel, or need to be quiet? How to speak, when to speak, what to speak. And then Sound also is speech, not only the physical that can be heard by others, it's internal dialogue, because you know that your mind is talking all the time, and sometimes this drives us crazy. So it's like, how do you navigate? How do you find silence inside yourself? And silence doesn't mean, hey, shut up. You should not talk. You are not allowed. No, this is not. It's actually peace. So it's a peace inside and outside. Energy and shape. So you are the shape of your body. You have your skin, bones, form, and you have a certain shape. And this shape is filled up with energy. And also blood vessels, organs, all the anatomical, biological things, which we will, in every class, something you will learn. Also, you will learn what is horizontal and vertical, because this is very important for a woman. Now, what does it relate to? I can tell you, there are some um, practices you can do in a horizontal way and in vertical, so standing, because horizontal is actually feminine and vertical is actually masculine. So when you are active and you are constantly running and doing, you are all the time vertical and you getting tired from that. There are times when you need to go into horizontal practice, and this will recharge you throughout the day. You will learn what is the difference between intuition and logic, and when you can apply and what. Because if you're not learning the difference between that, you are constantly emoting, you're becoming over emotional. You are laughing, then you're crying, then you're happy, and then you're sad. So it's like, oh my God, this is crazy, right? So you're losing it again. There is, again, one thing that I mentioned before is passivity and activity. When and how you can be passive, and what does it actually mean? Does it mean you are not doing anything? You're just like sitting and staring at a tree? No, you are still doing things, but you will learn what does it mean. Sources of energy. There are two types where you receive energy from. Congenital is the one that prenatal is the one that you inherited from your parents. So when your parents conceived you, so your mom became pregnant suddenly, she shared something and your father shared something which came together. Apart from the physical liquids, there is energy that you received from maternal and paternal ancestors, okay? And this is your congenital. Each one of you and me, we received a certain volume of that. We cannot change that. We received it is like inheritance for you. Somebody has more, somebody has less. This is something we cannot multiply. You cannot take more from your parents. From the moment you were born and nurtured by your mother, that's it. You are not taking anything else from your parents. This is also good to understand, that your parents don't owe you anything anymore. You can actually say goodbye, thank you, you are free. So, but the thing is that we need to preserve that. We get sick and we die earlier because we lose the congenital energy, because this energy brought us to birth. Now there is second type, which is acquired, which means that you're receiving through your life. And these are two sources, external and internal. External sources of energy: food, light, people, rest, sleep. Internal is what you get from inside of your body. So every organ is a source of energy. Every system is a source of energy. Breath. So external is actually gate towards internal. So the oxygen is external. When I inhale, there is something happening internally. You can change your breath, not just the way you breathe right now so you don't die, but also you can go beyond that and have a breathing practice where you take that oxygen and you multiply it inside. So that is something that we are going to work on, the internal sources of energy, which will help you to save congenital and external. And it will make you also sensitive. Now we're going to the practice mode, and we are perfectly on time. So I've put these drawings here just as a reminder. So you have physical body on the left. This is something you can touch. Maybe you cannot touch your organs, but they still do exist inside. So all of this is a gross level. Then in the middle picture, you can see all the Chinese meridians of every organ. So we have kidneys, we have liver, gallbladder, lungs, pericardium, heart, spleen, and etc. You will slowly learn here about, you don't need to learn all of them. It's your personal choice if you will want to like study Chinese medicine deeper. I'm not a master of Chinese medicine. I'm telling you that actually amazing thing being a practicing woman is that you don't need to become a very like professional, you know, go and have Chinese medicine acupuncture education. No, you don't need to do that. Woman is such an amazing biological machine, if you can say that, that she's allowed to know a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. You combine it together, and that's your recipe for your whole life. You don't need to, it's a more masculine way to go and like study everything. And this is showing like you are not just the body. Your emotions are not the physical. Your thoughts, all these things that are happening inside of you are much more beyond of the physical. So one thing that we will do every class that you'll need to remember how to do is to feel, to sense. And this has a lot to do with visualization. And then you will learn how to move energy inside of the organs. So let's say you have a pain. Instead of taking a pill, sit down, close your eyes, go inside, find where the pain is located and work with that. And you will move it. You will not, because the pills, they just remove the symptoms. And when you move the energy, you are transforming, you are actually healing yourself. We're going to do the meditative part. So make sure that you are alone in the room, so nobody distracts you. Close the door, you can dim the light. Take your time and sit comfortably, whether you are on the floor like in a lotus position or whichever, or you are on the chair. Sit with your back straight, so straight spine. Straight spine. And gently close your eyes. Place your hands on your knees, palms facing down. Take a deep inhalation through your nose and exhale fully throughout your mouth. Do this few more times, and every time you exhale, allow your mind to empty from all the information you just heard. Allow your body to relax. As you are exhaling, allow yourself to arrive into the present moment and occupy your whole body. Feel your head, feel your neck, shoulders, arms. You can now breathe through your nose only. Feel your chest, your straight back. Feel your pelvis grounded on your seat. Feel your legs. And if you are on a chair, put your feet flat on the floor. Flat feet on the floor is important aspect of grounding. Imagine that your feet are electric cords and you are plugging yourself into the earth. You are connecting to the earth. Today we will do a very simple introduction, and every time we will do more and deeper. We will move in a Tao style, which is gradual, patience, slowly feeling. Now connect to your breath. Feel your inhalation and exhalation. Move your whole focus to your nose. And I want you to actually sense when you inhale how the air is touching your nose, the skin inside of your nose. A gentle stroke on the skin. Feel how the air is moving inside of the whole nose as you inhale and as you exhale. And I want you to notice the difference. When you inhale, the air is touching you in one way. And when you exhale, the air is touching you in completely different way inside of the nose. Now let's notice another thing. When you inhale, the air is colder than when you exhale. When you exhale, the air is much warmer. Something happens with the air when it enters your body, your temple. It completely transforms. It is not the same air coming out. So there is a deep alchemical process inside of your body. You are the master of alchemy already, and this is how you were born. And the breathing is something that you cannot live without even a minute. So it is the most essential part of your existence. So now I'm inviting you to travel deeper and explore this alchemical process. As you inhale through your nose, with your visualization, travel down into your lungs as they expand. And as you exhale, travel out back to the nose. As you are just flying in into your lungs, you feel how they expand. And then you're flying out. Do this a few times in a very calm, peaceful way. You are building direct relationship between nose and the lungs. Two partners that are so loyal to each other and loyal to you. On the next inhalation, travel into your lungs and stay there, even on exhalation. Now I want you to fully sense your left lung, only the left lung, as you inhale and exhale. Sense the size of your left lung. Sense how it is occupying its space in the left rib cage. As if you're using your internal vision, felt sense to meet your left lung. Fully sense how the lung is expanding and contracting when you breathe. And if some thoughts are coming to you, it's okay. Don't push anything. Don't get emotional. Just return back to watching your left lung as you inhale and as you exhale. Your lung has front side and back side. Front from the chest and back towards the spine. As you inhale and exhale, feel the front side and the back side. And notice if you're putting too much effort to breathe. Drop that effort and let it be just the most natural, easy breathing. You are not doing the breathing. You are not acting. No actions is required. You are simply watching the breath happening already without you. This is the way of the Tao, not to interfere and change, just observe, witness. A few more breaths here in the left lung. One more inhalation and exhale, and let go of your attention from the left lung. Become neutral again. Continue breathing. Feel your whole body. And now shift your attention to your right lung. Natural, effortless breathing, witnessing in your right lung. Sense the size of your right lung. Feel how it's sitting inside of the right rib cage, occupying this space. Now feel how it expands like a balloon inflates when you inhale, and how it contracts, relaxes when you exhale. Be aware if you're putting over effort. Step back and allow the process to be. Not doing, but being the breath in your right lung. Now sense the back side of the lung. As you inhale, feel how it expands. And sense the front side of the lung. Its movement. Now step back from the right lung, and with your internal vision and sensation, feel both lungs at the same time. Breathing expanding, exhaling, relaxing. As you are watching your both lungs, I want you to understand on physical level what is the difference between your left and your right lung. When they breathe, how are they different? Because they are. Just sense that. And how they are so different, but perfectly aligning together, like as if they are partners who are dancing together. And you are just there, not interfering, you're just simply admiring this couple dancing, breathing. Now step back from your lens and scan your whole body. Notice if you are feeling right now different comparing to the moment when we started. In your mind, just notice for yourself what has changed. Are you feeling more grounded, more present? Can you sense there is a presence of subtle silence inside? Now being inside of your body temple, take a moment to say thank you to your own body. And then feel how your body inside is replying to you and also says, thank you for showing up and connecting. And feel how this connection is so pure and the most honest relationship that you ever going to have in your life. With your eyes closed, come back into the present moment. Acknowledge where you are right now. Feel your body sitting. Feel your clothes on your body that you're wearing. Feel your hands. Bring your hands together and start rubbing them against each other, keeping your eyes closed. Create that warmth energy between your palms. And then place your hands on your face. And start doing the movement as if you are washing your face with this energy, sending love and peace into your face muscles to smooth out whatever emotional traces, to bring youth and beauty back into your face. And then cover your eyes. Before you open your eyes after being in dark, prepare your eyes in a safe way. You're going to open them and slowly release your hands down to open your eyes and come back to here and now. Wow, I feel so good. So thank you very much for joining the class. Don't leave the chat yet. Please throw your questions, email your questions. It is very important to answer them inside of the class so everybody have this dynamic interactive communication. And when more people will join, we will actually sometimes even talk together. So this will be very important. Now I would like to answer a question from Juldis from the chat. And this question is so good. I think it's worth answering to everybody. So the question is, will this not lead to apathy? I connected with Juldis later and I elaborated on her question to understand it correctly. So what she means is, when I offered the option, when you step back and you lose control, you kind of trust that things will flow without your constant interference, does it not lead to apathy or into a state where it's like you just don't care? That's why you are taking your hands off. So this is very, very good question. Let's take two states. One state is actually where you are getting so tired and pissed off and done with all your household things or your life or your family, and you just telling them, you know what, leave me alone. I don't care anymore what you want. I want to be only for myself, and I just don't want to interfere, just like you are abandoning them. So this is actually a reaction, an angry reaction to the external stimuli that became so loud, so intense in your life that you cannot handle that anymore. So the anger is hidden, but it is the reaction that you are just choked. So this is not something that I'm offering. And most of the time, actually, women go into this phase. When they break down, there is like a scandal or a burnout where like, just leave me alone, and there is a conflict. What I'm offering is a state where you are, in fact, you are becoming very aware and conscious of what's going on. So imagine you are stepping back with the intention to give yourself space and freedom to breathe, and also you're allowing the situation and people to breathe. So when you are holding, sometimes you are like suffocating everything, and then you don't understand what's happening. When you're stepping back and you take that space for yourself, you taking that helicopter view to see things as a general view, and then you will start realizing some details that you haven't seen before. So if we take as an example a family, let's say you have two kids and a husband, and you've been giving yourself so much and interfering and acting all the time. Now you're stepping back and you are going to self-nourishment, but at the same time, you are witnessing what is happening. But you are witnessing not from the state of like, judgment, like, let me see how you're going to handle that with me. This is also very arrogant, where you want to become like a scientist. You are doing an experiment. You actually want to reveal these people, to reveal who they are when you are not around. What kind of resources do they have? Can actually your children handle? Oh, wow, they can. And you start remembering how in this case you would usually run to them and help them and solve their issues, but now you're like seeing how they are growing up. You know, I watched a movie. This is a perfect example. I advise all of you to watch this movie. It's called Bad Moms. This is like, it's a funny romantic comedy, to see how mothers are trying to be like perfect mothers and wives, and then everything is breaking down, and it's like, you know what, I've been trying to help my family, but in that help you are actually limiting their abilities to grow on their own self. So the answer is, when you stepping back and allowing this to evolve, to develop, to raise by its own self, my food is ready, then you are actually means you are trusting that these people can help themselves. So I thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next class next week.